Elo, elo. Miałby pączek. Okej, już jestem pościelony, przygotowany do spania. Mamy 45 minut. Muszę się wyżyć. Cały dzień tylko w Minecrafcie siedziałem. Zapraszam na streama z Vampyra. Jedziemy. Pączek dobra rzecz. Zmieniamy, tutaj będzie inne studio teraz, będzie lepsze. Dobra.
For as long as I've been a member, I've never seen so few vampires attending the club nights.
Elizabeth, what are you doing here?
I've been formally asked to witness your triumph, my dear. After all, isn't it the natural role of a woman to support her man in victory?
But it's you who insisted I join the Ascalon.
Please forgive my giddiness. I'm just overcome by the thrill of finally being allowed within these hallowed halls.
You certainly have an inquisitive mind.
Okay.
It's quite something. Elizabeth Ashbury, only you can make me smile in these difficult times.
And the same to you, Jonathan Reed. Now go have your little chat with the chairman. I can see he's practically bursting to hear your report.
Dobra.
Rumours say 2 cases of infection have been reported in Buckingham Palace. Good thing the king is not there.
Będziemy trochę czadu pogrzebać. Oczywiście, że zrobimy taką fajną rzecz, odwiedzimy inne kanały. Okej.
Perhaps we should change some of the club's rules. I think we're safe for now. I perceive to soften some of our laws concerning red.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Ascalon Club, Lancebearer. Please tell us the good news. Have you put an end to the epidemic?
My hypothesis was correct. Doris Fletcher was the source of the contagion in this part of town. She was probably the first to be infected.
And
Okej.
you cleansed her before the hunters, I've been told. Well done, Dr. Reed. You thrust your lance and pierced the very heart of the corruption.
Mhm.
But some questions remain.
The important thing is we won a major battle for the survival of London. For that, we salute you.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, I have another task for you. One of the utmost importance. Perhaps even more so than the previous.
I'm listening.
It's time for you to perform a most sacred duty for the club. I want you to recruit a new vampire.
Recruit a new vampire? Are you sending me on some sort of diplomatic mission?
Not exactly. I want you to make Aloysius Dawson the Ekon he deserves to be.
Nie jestem pewien.
I'm not sure I'm the best candidate for such a task.
I can hear the hesitation in your voice, Dr. Reed. I admire a man of principles. But in this matter, there is more at stake than your moral comfort.
It's not a moral question, Lord Redgrave. It's the responsibility of giving immortality to a man I barely know.
Nonsense. Aloysius has been a member of the Ascalon for years. This is but the fruition of a long-held plan.
How would you like me to proceed?
Aloysius is waiting for you at the Dawson estate. Once the deed is done, I'll join you there to celebrate this momentous occasion.
Okay.
Before I go, I have a few questions.
All right, I'm listening.
Czemu Aloysy Dawson?
Why Aloysius Dawson?
Because he is about to die. And he just may be the most influential man in England. After me, of course.
Sam nie wybrał?
Did he choose me?
No, I did. My decision is very recent, to say the least, but it is entirely mine.
Wie, że go odwiedza?
Does he know I'm coming?
He can't wait to become your progeny, Dr. Reed. Especially now that you have shown how strong your lineage is through your sister.
How would you like me to proceed?
Don't worry. Aloysius has had many years to prepare himself. He has studied our kind for decades.
Okay. Ma po prostu poczęstować go swoją krwią, tak?
So shall I just let him drink my blood?
Yes. Aloysius will gratefully sup on your blood. His heart will slow, then stop. But he will rise again as one of us, an immortal.
No, niebezpieczne.
Is there any danger?
Our blood alters a mortal body so deeply that some don't survive the metamorphosis. They die for good. But Mr. Dawson has been preparing himself for a long time.
Okej.
Goodbye, Lord Redgrave.
Okej. Ho, ho. Wow, 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 wow.
Are you all right, Jonathan?
Lord Redgrave has just ordered me to turn Aloysius Dawson, to make him my progeny.
I
Oh, yeah.
see. And how do you feel about this?
Nie zrobię tego.
I won't do it. The very thought of it makes me sick.
The real question here is, why has his lordship given you this task?
Do you think it's some sort of trap?
Do you really want to know what I think about this?
I do, yes.
To make an immortal of a soulless blackguard like Aloysius Dawson will only lead to a disaster for London. The man is already dead inside.
Should I refuse? Perhaps politely suggest that Lord Redgrave turn the man into a vampire himself.
Don't you dare, my dear. According to what I've recently discovered, his lordship could kill you for even broaching the subject.
Really? Why?
I've recently found proof that the Earl of Bristol is of lesser lineage and only capable of creating skulls.
Proszę.
Please tell me more about your recent investigation.
As long as you lower your voice.
What would happen if I made Dawson an Ekon like myself?
You would add a powerful immortal into a suffering world. An immortal who already craves authority.
Maybe I could teach him control, like you taught me. Lead him down the right path.
Mr. Dawson spent his life searching for a way to cheat death. I'm sure he has spent decades dreaming of how he'd spend eternity as a tyrant.
Ma rację, ona ma rację. Co mam zrobić?
What would you have me do about Dawson?
The man is dangerous. Did you know he plans to build a wall to separate the healthy rich from the sickly poor?
What?
Do not make him your progeny.
What would you do?
The man's dying already. Let the reaper harvest the rotten fruit that is his soul.
Mam go zabić. Mam go zjeść.
Are you sure your information about Redgrave is correct? He says he's the progeny of the great knight William Marshall, who lived some 9 centuries ago.
That's a lie. Lord Redgrave is unable to create anything but skulls, if the poor soul survive at all.
How can you be sure the information was correct?
I made the acquaintance of a most interesting informer while investigating your maker, from whom I learned the truth about Lord Redgrave.
Skąd ten mściwy Dan?
Why so vindictive? You suddenly sound like you're angry.
Forgive me, Jonathan, I hate myself for it, but I feel such pride in my discovery. I'm afraid I just can't help it.
Which is?
He did serve William Marshall, and yes, the blood he covets as a token does truly belong to that legendary knight. But he was never his progeny. His lineage is not so noble.
Goodbye for now, Elizabeth.
Goodbye, my dear. Please, be careful.
Oj, będę.
Welcome back, Dr. Reed.
Bardzo mi się to nie podoba. Co się tutaj dzieje?
It looks like vampires have to obey Mendel's laws when producing progeny. powers pass from one generation to another. That's why Dawson wants me to sign.
And women!
Swansea? Coś się stało. Czekam na szatę wyjedzą moją. A.
He's dead! Fuck his fault! He's dead!
Oj, oj. Zastanawiam się, co Swansea chce nam powiedzieć. Szpital Pembroke. O, jak dobrze wrócić do domu, co nie? Zobaczyć stary nasz szpital Pembroke. Idziemy do Swansea. Coś się tam dzieje.
Time has lost its effect on me. But the suffering continues.
Swansea? Coś miałeś mi do...
What news, Jonathan?
I've heard you've now joined the vampire elite of London.
Did Elizabeth tell you?
So it's Elizabeth now. My. Things are moving quickly. I turn my back for a moment and away you go.
Jak wygląda sytuacja?
How's the situation at the Pembroke?
We're still holding out. Question is, for how long? What we really need is hope, Jonathan. Hope for a better tomorrow.
Okej. Co się łączy z Doris Fletcher?
I may have found the source of the contagion. Doris Fletcher, the actress. Thankfully, in the end, she was destroyed by fire.
Really? Oh, please, do tell me more.
Była skanem, który wszedł liczne mutacje.
Doris was a heavily mutated skull, almost a new breed entirely. It's as if the disease had completely altered her mind and body. Highly contagious.
As if the disease had taken control of her will?
Yes. Once a beautiful and brilliant woman, she became motivated by hate alone.
Oh, she was a beauty. I met her when she visited the hospital to cheer up the sick. Too bad the fire destroyed her. But it was probably for the best.
Słyszałeś o podobnych przypadkach?
Have you heard of similar cases?
No, I don't think so. Except, perhaps, it reminds me of an old report from the Brotherhood. Well, more an article, really.
What was it about?
The author, a friar, referred to a rare form of contagion in a skull he observed during the Black Death. The carrier was always female. They called them icors.
Sokami. O,
Have you seen Lady Ashbury recently?
Yes, she popped in yesterday. Told me about your new friends in the West End.
Just a courtesy visit then.
Yes. And no. She was en route to the docks, I think, following a lead concerning your maker.
o, proszę.
I'll come back later. Thank you, Edgar.
Always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
Okej. Aby go zatruć. Nie mam na zmęczenie, ale... Kurwa, wszystko. O. Fragment porządnego uchwytu. To jest 672, chyba najlepsza broń dla mnie. Tak. Będzie dobrze. I... 20%. 576. Jeśli się dwa, no, więcej się nie da.
Done.
I co będzie rosła? Zaraz skończę. Dobra. Zobaczymy. Pierwszy rządek. Co? W Vampyrze już zrobiłeś ten? A co było?
Hey, Doc. You're lucky to be alive, mister. This place... I will see. I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
No.
Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical advice?
Afraid so.
Throughout history, some dizzy.
You're working.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight.
Miss, please, I feel sick. Get over here now.
Good evening.
Evening, Doc.
No. Yes.
Do you need...
Don't get me...
I'm certain you... Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to...
A pig star will smell better.
It is the last thing.
Good evening.
Evening.
Soldier,
Not really.
as long...
Don't think you...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
You disgust on every...
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Doctor.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
So clear again.
Leczy to.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Do you need any...
I'm afraid...
You are not a burden.
And you have my...
I have to go now.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doc.
Is there any...
Really?
Unfortunately... Goodbye for now.
I will not let you down, my boy.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my...
Don't be ridiculous.
Then you are lucky.
I wish that...
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Good evening, sir. Doctor. You always knew the words to calm the children. That's for me.
It's locked.
Działa, kończę. Teraz wodami będziemy kończyć.
This hospital falling apart. But in the circumstance.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you require...
Do you know?
Despite...
Well, at least.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Good evening, sir. Doctor. Oh, sir. It's safer here than anywhere else in the East.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Do you require...
I will.
Nurse.
I'll try.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if... You're lucky to be this close. Consider yourself...
Don't play.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Jeszcze ten tylko. Recepcję. To telewizja stop i koniec.
Never ceases to amaze me how you, the dead, and lost at the same.
Good evening. Do you need... Well, the Don't take... And that is a... Goodbye, Mr. Chidana.
It never ceases to amaze me how
Torba na naboje. Szansa taka. A, to już w następnym.